they'll be calling me royalty.
The skyline of Singapore, the night sky awaits us. Ladies and gents, welcome to round 9 of season 11. With Tier-1, we're here under the lights in Singapore for a race that awaits us. First of all, we've got a qualifying ahead of us. So, round this circuit, let me take you around. First of all, right now, we've got 19 corners, which has changed from the earlier 23. You've got a straight from corners 16 through 19, which were earlier turns. And the track certainly has changed quite a bit, so the drivers will be driving differently as well. Coming into this, we have got our drivers champion with a considerable lead over P2 of over 25 points. So, what happens in this race will be very important. Who can make up places, who can make a decisive gap, or who can position themselves, cement themselves well in the championship. Very important now as we go through this race. It'll be incredibly exciting. So, what do you think, Alex? What's
Yep,
coming up?
like you said, it has been a very closely fought championship, though. For the early half of this season, Moto has kind of built out a solid lead. Of course, Red, Helium, all of them had that opportunity last race when Moto was serving his race ban. When not race ban, I think Moto just was absent for the race. I'm sorry, Moto. I said you had a race ban. That is my bad. Yeah, Red and Helium and Simply and all of them had a good chance to capitalize on that. And I think Simply won last race. If I'm not wrong, I think Simply won last race, and yeah, they did got back up on Moto, but Moto still has a considerable lead in the championship. I'm not exactly sure how big that lead is, but yeah, he's got a cushion under him, and yeah, I think he's running well at this circuit in the social races and in practice that I've seen him do. He's been practicing the last few hours with SSJ and Simply and Sandeep Maridu and all of those guys have been practicing non-stop for the last 3-4 hours while I was sitting with them in VC discussing strategy and stuff. Yeah, Moto does look on for a good race this weekend.
Certainly, Singapore does give us very exciting races, a lot of overtaking opportunities, a lot of things that can happen. We've got straights now, so easier to overtake there as well, and through the corners as well. I think this circuit is a little bit hard to overtake comparatively to others because of its very tight layout. But overall, I think it's a circuit that will show us a lot of good racing, a lot of good moments, as we see it in real life. Last year, the race which overjoyed most people's hearts, I think.
Yep, last season, in fact, with yeah, Singapore IRL, we had Carlos Sainz winning The only race that Red Bull couldn't win the whole season. That was a brilliant show performance and strategic thinking by Carlos Sainz to keep Lando in the top, keep getting him DRS, keep Russell behind. Of course, Russell ended up in the wall on the last lap. A bit of misjudgment by him, but yeah, that was a brilliant fought race for the. I think that was the only race, one of the few races where we actually saw fighting for the podium for the podium, as in like the top step. Really, I think we had fights for the podium most of the season, but yeah, the top step, top two steps, not being Red Bull was definitely a good change to watch. Anyway, getting back to our race, I think our drivers have been given the ready up, and yep, let's go on board to the game. One important thing to note for this race is that Helium, one of Moto's contenders, has been given a race ban for an incident with SimplyYT at Imola. If you remember, they both came came to wars along the chicane just before the final two left-handers, and Simply ended up losing his wing. I think Helium also suffered some damage and Simply lost out to the on the race win to Helium and Moto over there. But yeah, Helium is going to be kicking. He's going to be kicking and screaming after that because he has a good chance at the championship this season. But yep, one of our star contenders, Helium, will not be racing this weekend.
Thirdly, I was commentating that race, and yeah, pretty, heart wrenching moment there for a lot of drivers. Um, Heart wrenching for in this race as well because every single race matters very honestly. And we can be on board. The drivers right now on board. Pavilion of Ganesh is going to start his flying lap as we go on board with right now. I'll take you through this lap. He'll break here with the apex rounded out well, and now very short burst all the way to the next turn. So, and then he's got a huge straight with DRS. So important. It really differs how you've set your car up here. Have you set it up for the straights? Have you set it up more with a higher downforce setup? It differs quite a lot. Have you set it up very stiffly or not so? Ganesh, who's going through the turns, he's taking them very safely. That's what I would say. He's going close to the walls, but not quite close that, literally brushing past the walls as we go through the turns right now. This one is a very tricky one to take because once you hit the apex right, you could either get tackled or go in it tactically, and then what would happen there? And this, under the braking right, this entire straight, if I'm not wrong, is the DRS straight as well. Yes, it is. And that's a lot of time lost if you do that wrong. And breakdown here. This is the part of the circuit that has seen the most amount of changes through the last year. So we've got a huge straight now instead of the turns. And as we look at our telemetry, SSJ looks to be at top of the timing table. He has retired, as we can see, and he will complete his flying lap. Tanish, that was a lap under the lights of Tanish. And SSJ takes pole 128 for Ayaz Aradhya Gupta. Second, Matty in the Aston Martin is third. So Aston Martin, a very good result for them. It's a 1-3. So they'll be starting up ahead. Now just maintain that in the sprint. Maybe they will get a chance to lock out the race. But pretty interesting choice to there. SSJ's hard work certainly paying off and pay tribute to the last one of the circuit. He's wearing a Carlos Sainz helmet in game as well. So let's have a look at the result. SSJ in P1, Aradhya Gupta for Ferrari in P2, Catty in P3, Lokesh in P4, followed by Red, Tanish, Sandeep Maridu, Lean Sipper, Faizan, Dark Knight, Destroyer, Mohan MR9, ERS Abuzur, Archit, and we have a few more drivers below can't see Simply in the top 15. Possibly something went wrong on his lap. He has got the sprint to recover it. Pretty sure he has a fairly good quality. If we could get a look at the rest of the rest of the five drivers. Shot here, McLaren is 19th. Moto, our championship leader, is 19th. I doubt that he get a lap the game, or I might be mistaken, but that will certainly put him at a disadvantage Not quite as much though. If you look at the WTC table, he's currently at 160 points. Red, the current vice champion, or the so supposed current vice champion, because the race season hasn't finished yet. Sorry, I apologize for that. So he's at 133 points. So that's a fairly big gap. Pretty sure he can make it up in the sprint, and the race is where you'll get big points. So let's see how he does that. Any reactions of yours, Alex?
Yep, that was a good lap by SSJ, of course, our time trial merchant, as they call him. That was quite expected, though, to be honest, because he is, of course, as I said, a time trial merchant. He sweats the one lap time, and yes, he does. While he does sweat time trial, he also has very decent, very good actually race pace. So I'm hoping you can see some fireworks from him and Catty as well for the Aston Martin boys tonight. Also, we did notice though early on Extreme disqualifying himself because he has a qualifying ban, which means he will be starting at the back of the race. But any position made up in the sprint race will give him a position, give him that starting position in the race. So it's a very good race to have that qualifying ban at. And we also noticed Moto retiring from the session. That maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he decided to retire out of not wanting to start at the back of the grid, at the front of the grid, or in the mid pack. But as Moto has just left the session, maybe his PC crashed or something like that must have happened. We can't commentate on that yet.
We'll certainly get back to you with any updates we'll get for the coordinators. But so far, I can say that I did enjoy the qualifying. Means I did not expect this level of qualifying to be happening. So it's a very upside down grid in comparison per se.
Yep, it is a very upside down grid. Did not expect that in the least. For SSJ to be on pole, I thought at least maybe Aradhya would be challenging or Tanish, but as you can see, we have five lights out and with red lights coming on. We have five lights out, and okay, they're taking forever, and away we go. It's SSJ is taking us with the lead, and yep, Aradhya is instantly challenging for the lead, and has he got it on already? Yes. No, SSJ manages to keep the lead and Catty close behind him. You can see carnage going on in the midfield. There's already yellow flags. Moto has joined back and that's good for him. He's not lost too much time. Aradhya, meanwhile, hammering the rear of SSJ as Sandeep Maridu already gets a 5-second time penalty for cutting a corner and gaining a position on Faizan, I think, because that's Faizan has just overtaken him anyway. Meanwhile, SSJ Aradhya should more be looking at his rear compared to his fronts because as much as he has SSJ close to him up front, he's got Catty hounding him even closer from the back. And Logesh is in P4, Red in P5, Tanish P6, Faisal P7, and Sandeep Maridu with the time penalty down in P8, and he's got 5 seconds that should be taken out on his pit stop, which under safety cars that we get, which I'm sure we will, knowing Singapore, knowing having first-hand experience of the Tier 2 race I just did this afternoon. As we see Sir Tanish falling down the order, what's happened to him? Has he had a bit of a mistake? Oh my god, that's a very entertaining start so far. He's lost his wing as well.
He lost in that front wing and go. SSR has got a 5 second time penalty for colliding with Simply YT, it seems, and I think Simply YT
He's also
has
lost
lost
his wing.
his front wing as well. Yeah, he's lost his front wing.
And it's a
So we're gonna
virtual
see a
safety
slew of
car.
pit stops right
He's not
now.
pit
Yeah,
though.
virtual safety. He's not pitting. Yeah, suppose a 5 second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. What is Simply YT thinking to do right now? Is
What is he
he
cooking?
going wait for a safety car? Is he going to wait? Okay, that's across
Oh,
the board. We've got entirety of 5 to 6 drivers in the pit lane. So certainly, yeah, one lap and the race has already gotten all the way out of thing. But in the top five, it remains the same. SSJ leads Aradhya, leads Catty, leads Logesh, and leads Red. Not much change up in the top of the order, but if you look below, there have been quite a few changes. SimplyYT has made up one place from the start after falling all the way back, but I think he'll lose that because he's not taken any front wing. And round Singapore without a front wing, someone who's raced here, Alex, you. I think you can give a better explanation for that, Simply.
Yep, there
Definitely.
was, yeah, I definitely can. There were a lot of incidents. I was having big skill issue this afternoon, losing my wing. I pit and I came out in the next two corners. I've lost my wing already, and yeah, even with an orange wing on your front, even on one end plate, if you have one end plate lost, it's a major chunk of downforce that's lost. And on this track where I was running 50-50 wings, uh, I mean, the fact that I had to run 50-50 shows that I needed all the downforce I could get. And yeah, Aradhya and SSG just trading faster slaps at the moment, but SSG has pulled out a bit of a gap. Aradhya also has pulled out of that 1 second of Catty, who is going to be pressurized by Logesh behind. But again, yep, like you said, Simply has had better pit now, and I think he will be pitting in this lap. No, he is not. He's going out again. What is he doing? I do not know what Simply is trying to do here. I think he's just hoping and praying for a safety car at this point. But yeah, you need all the downforce you can get. As you can see with Simply, he's going all everywhere. He's already 7 seconds behind the car ahead. Ooh, let's see if he's got any damage himself. No, he hasn't. But Simply, I do not know what he's thinking. He should definitely be pitting right now. As you can see, sir, Tarnish has caught up 8 seconds to him in this last lap, and he's still catching up. Simply's race has just gone to hell. I think he's just, I don't know what he's doing at this point.
Maybe he's just hoping to do another masterclass and, defend everyone to it. But I don't see that happening with his entire front wing off. You can do that with probably an end plate off, but you can't do that with an entire front wing not on your car. As we now look on both Sandeep Maridu, who has lost two positions from the start and also has got a penalty. So a lot of things to pout about for Sandeep Maridu. Let's look at teams right now. Aston Martin are smiling in the garage. We've got Ferrari as well. One of the Ferraris in a very strong position, and the other is right at the back of the pack. So Aradhya Gupta P2, then Alpine's Lokesh is in P4. As per strong positions, I feel that all the teams are equally split. Some of they're having very contrast days in the garage. Not much racing so far as we look on board. ERS Abuja behind Archit 0510. Can he make a move through here? Let's have a look because he's just down the straight. Yes, that's make a turn and was not able to, but he will follow through and he'll get that opportunity at turn 1 because the next turn that's coming, turn 19, not very good for overtaking. So Danish did the fastest lap, 130.9. Currently running 7 seconds behind SimplyYT. 7 seconds behind SimplyYT. Remember, last lap, he was 14 seconds behind. He's catching by almost 7 seconds per lap. So Simply will certainly have a little bit of a problem coming behind in the form of the Williams of Sir Tanish.
Yep, definitely. I still do not understand why he didn't pit even this lap. But yeah, he should really. He's gonna have a. He's not gonna be able to defend. There is no doubt about that. Simply, he's gonna fall like a rock once Sir Tanish and the pack behind him close up to him. I at this point I think he's only going to be T19, but that's also still that's really high estimates for him with no wing. Yes, Govind sir is around Govind Asil sir is around 20 seconds behind, but that he's losing, like you said, 10 seconds a lap. That will be caught in like 2 laps. So yeah, I don't know where Simply is going with this. He's not gaining any positions for sure, but he's definitely losing some.
By the looks of it, Simply will be caught this lap itself as we look on board Faizan. Faizan is currently in a battle. He's got 3 cars next to him. We look on board the Williams of Dark Knight. What's he gonna do? And this is a part where you can certainly make a lot of overtakes. You've got the DRS, you've got the pace, you've got the slipstream. A lot of things that can be done. And he will be overtaken by 2 cars in one is the best, and the main move is made. And we've got the Haas now. So, and the Haas has made up one place. So brave move there from the Haas as well. So a good amount of action here, but Dark Knight emerges victorious ahead of everyone under the lights in Singapore.
Yep, and as
And we
we
look on
see,
board Simply. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yep, and as we see, Simply has lost the place to Sir Tanish. Even with no wing, he cannot defend him on the straights. That DRS helping hand that Tanish got helped him overtake Simply. As we see, Simply he's already pulled out 2 seconds to Simply, which was something we all expected, we all saw coming. Destroy a track close behind. I think he's going to close in a few corners, and yeah, Simply's race has gone from bad to worse and worse to horrible as we see a virtual safety car. Oh, this might just give Simply a little bit of a breathing room before all hell breaks loose again and the virtual safety car goes in. But what is this virtual safety car for? Did you manage to catch that?
I really couldn't, to be honest. I'm just looking up and down, and I can't see any changes in the order. So a bit confusing there. But Simply has got enough time before he reaches the pit entry so that he can have a look at his options. What can he do? So he's got some time. He's got a good time, I think. And Sandeep Maridu, who's probably hoping to be serving his penalty in
Yep.
this one, and he has served it. So yeah, good on him. He's lost a few positions, but he served that penalty. Waited for him to count out first. The other abuser will know he's not going to be serving his time penalty. By the looks, he's got a drive-through
It's gonna
penalty.
drive through.
So and we've got green flag conditions already underway. Simply is in 15th place, just about struggling to keep up because he's got DRS Abuser behind him. DRS Abuser has a drive-through penalty. Let me remind you, drive-through penalties cannot be served under safety car conditions. It has to be served under green flag conditions. So he has to serve that, otherwise that will be added at the end of the race, and it's a very hefty time penalty. Certainly, you don't want to leave that for the rest of your race, like you do for some other penalties, maybe 5 seconds, but not for drive-throughs. As we look on board right now, the Alpine of Wicked Vicky, one of our race winners this season, as he's going through the straight, he's got the DRS. Oh, we've got a little bit of DRS train here. Red Bulls from 8, 9 all the way through 12, so DRS train there. The Red Bulls keeping a very commanding position, strong, not a very good haul of points per se, but they are performing well. Just saving up, not letting anyone go ahead, getting themselves a decent position for the
Another
race.
virtual safety
This-
car.
That's what matters. Another virtual safety car. This is very confusing. Has SimplyYT pitted? Can we have a look at the graphic once? He
Nope,
has not. He
Simply
has
has
not
not.
got a
I
wing.
think that was something to do with this gaggle of cars here because I saw them all bunched up at a corner. I'm not very sure, but yeah, this has been a very chaotic race. Like for us in our tier 2 race, I don't remember there being even a virtual safety car. Maybe there was, and I just don't remember it because there was a lot to process this afternoon. But yeah, I'm not sure. And I think that CRS Abuzer, I think did he decide to pit? Yeah, I think he's pit. I think maybe he'll serve his 5 second, but he cannot serve his drive through. And I think no, I think the problem with ERS is that he will have to retire or he'll be disqualified. Oh no, it's not a safety car, right? So yeah, he can pit again. But yeah, he'll be serving his 5 seconds, and if he doesn't serve his drive through within the next lap, he will get disqualified. But green flags are out. Simply is racing again, or well, limping rather. Yep, so let's move on from this as we see Faizan, King James, as you said, the Red Bulls holding station. They're doing a good job. Not, I think King James is the only one who's going to get points because it's a sprint race. Top 8 gets points. King James will get a point for his efforts here, and Faizan doing his best he can for his teammate by holding Wicked Vicky in extreme behind so that they do not trouble King James, as King James is in a fight of his own with Dark Knight and Lean Sipper. Lean Sipper, who's got, Red, who's got 11-second gap to Lean Sipper, is also in a fight with for the second top 4 positions. No, I think SSJ has checked out with a 3 second, almost 2.5 second gap. Aradhya, Catty, Logesh, Red all fighting for that P2, P3, P4, P5. Lean Sipper, Dark Knight, King James fighting for P6, P7, P8. Then bottom of the grid we have ERS Abuser 12 seconds behind with the DT Sir Tanish. Very underwhelming race for him this time as we have Extreme who's made a move. He's still fighting Wicked Vicky and Wicked Vicky makes a slight contact with him through the rear, and Mohan is glad Extreme was ghosted, or that would have been the front wing and maybe a tire of his car.
Certainly, that was a good amount of racing you covered there. One thing you probably missed, because there was certainly a lot of action going through when you were saying that. Moto, who started 19th, has made a places. He's currently running in 14th. Not a very good position, but better than 19th place, isn't it?
Yep,
So,
talking
strong
about.
in
Yeah, continue, sorry.
welcome. So he's got a 2-second gap to destroy track. If he can make that up in about 2 laps that he has left, that would be very good from him. Let's look at positions made up. King James has made up 8 positions. He started P16. Dark Knights made up 3 positions, but the top five are constant. Top five remain the same. And SSD has carved out a nice 3.5 second gap there. So yeah, he's got a lot of breathing room. Can't really say that about a lot of other drivers out there. And yeah, so plenty of action going up and down the grid, except for the top five. We are on board right now with Alpine of Wicket Wiki. A little bit of action between Catty and Aradhya Gupta, and he has taken the place. So it's currently an Aston Martin 1-2. So good race. It's a good amount of points for them as well. Can Aradhya make up a place? To go on board with him right now through the corners. He'll get a good amount of traction. He can make an overtake. He's got one overtaking opportunity, one major overtaking opportunity between
Oh,
these corners. Okay, and we've got contact between Wicket Vicky and Faizan. Is that yes? That is Faizan. And Mohan MR9 has made up the place. He's gone up to 19. So the Red Bull duo has been broken. Faizan has lost one place because of contact. I believe there was contact between Wicket Vicky and him. So stewards will be certainly looking into that. And as we look into it tonight, right now we're on the ninth lap of the sprint race on board with Sir Tanish. Very overwhelming race. There is Commentator has come in to serve his drive-through penalty. As my co-commentator reminded you, not serving it will result in a disqualification. We now look back to SimplyYT, whom we were talking about, whose race certainly is not going so well. He's running in P16, not really bad. He started P15 and he lost a front wing. So damage limitation of sorts. He's not made up a place, but not lost too many places either in that sense. So yeah, that's it pretty much from him. The sprint race has been upside down for the bottom half of the grid as compared to the top half. Catty's got a 3 second time penalty, multiple warnings, so he will lose that second place. It won't be an Aston Martin 1-2 unless he can carve out a gap, and I don't think he can. This is the last lap of the race, and everyone will be pushing to the absolute limit. So let's look at the tires that everyone's been on. Everyone's been on softs or mediums. So for the race, I'm pretty sure they'll either start on hards or mediums. They're not on soft. SSR, Govind SSR's got a 3 second time penalty, multiple warnings there. So he will have to add that to his tally in the race. We've got some action between, I believe that's SSR and Sandeep Maritu. Sandeep Maritu's made up a place. And as we come right now to the final corner, he is just going to be starting his lap. He's way behind the leader. As we look at the data there, SSJ's got a very good gap to his teammate, and he's given a fantastic race. He stayed out of trouble. He's gone through all the corners well, managed not to get a penalty, kept his pace up well, kept a very good breathing space between him and the other drivers. So I would say that's a champion's drive from him. Although he's not quite high in the championship, he can make up a place. Sir Tanish has got a 3 second time penalty, multiple warnings again. So to be at a race penalty, and SSJ takes the sprint win. He will start in pole for the Grand Prix. Aradhya Gupta is in second, front row for him. Logesh will start in third. Red starts in fourth. Catty, Aston Martin with a 3 second time penalty will start in fifth. So not quite the dream start Aston Martin would have wanted. But then have Lean Stepper coming across the line, taking the checkered flag in sixth, King James in seventh, Dark Knight in eighth, Mohan, double points for Haas in ninth, Wicket Vicky in 10th. So these teams scoring double points here. We've got Aston Martin, we've got Red Bull, and we've got Haas. No, Red Bull has not scored double points. Apologies for that. Alpine and Haas and Aston Martin. And Five Sun's gone across the line. 19. Now we look at Moto, who has made it up to 13th place. He will cross the line. And 13. Not a great place, but he has made up a few plays. And the very last moment spin for the Alfa Romeo destroyed track there. And they've got a last lap collision. I don't think the stewards will take that, but it's up to them then again. So Archit in 15th, Tisha Track in 14th. They will be scuffling a little bit in the garage. SimplyYT in 16th. Last minute move by Govind SSR. He will fall back due to the penalty, however. Behind Sandeep Maridu in 17th place. Sir Tanish in 19th place. And ERS Abuzer in 20th place.
yep,
So the drivers have taken the checkered flag. And right now, cleanup crew is going to be on the straight because there was quite a lot of debris there.
yep. I
Yeah, they
think
won't
all
have.
of them just turned. I think they decided, okay, race over. We're going to give them some work to do to clean up the race as soon as they clean up the track as soon as they can, because we have the main race coming up. Do not go anywhere. Uh, So main race is another, of course, a 50% race, that 31 laps of Singapore, of the same carnage that you just saw. We're gonna have more of it. That's what I'm telling you guys. This is going to be a very spicy race. Yep. Continue, Ravi. Continue with the
Thank you.
commentary.
Thank you so much, Alex, for the co-commentator. Welcome back to the comms box. So we'll come back here. We'll have a look at all the lap times as we get them for data scrubbing and everything. So I'll have you go through race. So let's look at the points. So winner gets 8, and all the way through 8, everyone just gets 1 point lower. So for first position gets the race pole. They start in first position. They get 8 points. Second gets 7 points, so on and so forth. For those who are right now coming onto our stream, we have just finished the sprint race. SSJ has come in first. Aradhya Gupta has come in second. And third, if I'm not wrong, is an Alpine of I can't,
Logesh.
can't
Yep.
quite Logesh. Yeah, thank you so much for reminding me there.
Yep.
Third is an Alpine of Logesh. So yeah, and Aston Martin will be starting in first and fifth. And fourth, we have got red of Mercedes. So good drive from him there as well. He's made up a place. He'll be starting on the second row there. So sprint race is over. We've got the grid set for the main race. Now that's what's going to be exciting us. A lot of carnage in just 10 laps, and 31 laps await us. So a lot of things to look forward. It'll be most interesting to see what tires actually everyone goes on to. That's very interesting because people do make, very, what can I say? Um,
Bold strategy choices.
Bold strategies here because it's a track where even in real life there's 100% chance of safety car, and in IRC I can guarantee you, although I'm not quite good at maths, 150% chance of safety car. We've had a virtual safety car in a sprint race. I'm pretty sure we'll have a safety car in the main race as well in the Grand Prix. Now we look onto the pit lane as our drivers will be readying up to get started for the race. So they'll just be setting up the final things, changing the front wing angles. If anything they've learned from the sprint that they can put into use, that'd be very interesting. Alex, you have anything for us?
Yep, of course, safety cars can come into clutch at any point, and it looks like we're gonna have dry weather. So far, it looks dry, but maybe mid race we have some rain at Singapore. You never know. Let's hope for some rain. It will definitely mix things up a bit. I feel bad for those with the 50-50 setups. Of course, yeah, they don't have any room to get more downforce in their car for the rain. But yeah, of course, the drivers on wheels are definitely gonna have bad sore wrists. But you can take us away with the start, Abby.
As we go, the lights are out in under the lights in Singapore. Are they? Yes, they are. And we are racing here under the lights at Singapore. SSJ has got a great start, and Alpine has moved out of the way. Can we get some moves there? Lean Sipper's made up a place on Catty. We've got a few drivers going off the track. Moto's made up 2 places. SimplyYT has made up places. Sartanish has made up places. And we've got both the AlphaTauris at the back of the grid. In other news, SimplyYT has made up yet another place on Archit. We've got Extremos made up a place on Faizan, but the leaders all the way from top 1 to 5 remain the same. We've got a change from the Haas and King James there as well. A little move made by the Haas there. Can they make it at the corner? No move from him there. Moto's made up yet another place. He's in 12th right now, so good start from him there. Okay, and we've got Logesh who has retired from the session. I think he's got a computer issue. So that will be ending his race. Wicket Vicky's got a 5-second penalty with a severe collision with with Mohan MR9, and we've got a virtual safety car within the first lap of the race. Virtual safety car, and those on soft will be thanking because that's just less tire degradation for them. That's less laps to run under full load. But it's not a full safety car, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got a lot of movement through the grid here, but the top five, except for the fifth one, right now we have Lean Sipper. He has made up a place, but biggest gainer, Sir Tanish, 4 places. Govind SSR, 2 places. And Simply YT is made up 2 places. Moto's made up 2 places as well. Wicket Vicky's made up 2 places, although he's got a penalty. That will certainly weigh down on him. But the McLarens have made up a good amount of places. We look on board right now, we've seen the possibility strategies. The hard medium or a hard medium soft. 2 stops, 3 stops. We've got them all lined up right now in terms of insights. And is that the Haas of I can't quite remember. That's Meansipper who has posted, I believe. We've got an internet connection with it wonky right now on board with King James. Looking with Simply White right now, who's got a big gap ahead to Faizan, about 2.2 seconds. and green flag conditions are out, and he will be racing, looking to cover that position up because he cannot wait to get up higher. Remember, in the McLaren are leading the World Constructors Championship as well as the Drivers Championship with Moto. So McLaren have got a sizable lead in the World Constructors Championship, but definitely not in the World Drivers Championship. Moto wants to make up as many places as he can. We're looking on board with SimplyYT right now, who's just 3 tenths behind the Williams of Sir Tanish. If he can make a move, very exciting there. Moto's made his way up into the points. He's in ninth place. 4 places made up from the start. Very good there. Reds made his way onto the podium. Catty is down to fourth. Caddy's up to fourth, sorry about that. And King James is up to fifth. But the top two remain the same, and SSJ is carving out yet another gap for himself, and he's showing that he has got both quali pace and race pace there. Ooh, that was an exhilarating start for a pretty good part, wasn't it, Alex?
Yep, it was, and in all of that, I think you missed out on Moto. Made a move on Mohan as well. He's up to 8th. That was a very aggressive move, but yeah, might be a little bit on the edge. He might have pushed Mohan a bit too wide, but of course, that's for the stewards to decide. I didn't get a very good view of it because it happened quite late on the camera. But yeah, that was Moto is driving with a sense, he's driving with a purpose. He's got that hunger in his eyes. He wants that podium. He wants that win. He wants to challenge SSJ, Aradhya, Red, Catty, all of them. He wants that win desperately. After missing last race, he wants to make up for it. Simply also has gained a few positions, 3 positions at the start, as you said. The biggest gainer so far has been Sir Tanish, who's made up 7 places, and yeah, Extreme also overtaking Mohan, and we just missed that, but got it on the leaderboard thankfully. Extreme is also another one of our quick drivers in IRC, although he's had a bit of a slump in his form and luck so far this season, but yep, he's looking to recover all of that, trying to make up those positions, follow Moto through the pack maybe, if he can catch up to him again, which is going to be a hard ask as we see him, we're on board him right now, going through the track, slow, making progress up and up the track as we're on board Wicked Vicky now. Simply Moto making a move on Wicked Vicky, putting him into the wall. That was very aggressive on Moto's half and on Moto's behalf, and Extreme also. That's a move. I think that's definitely going up to the stewards. What are your views on that, Abby?
Yeah, certainly. I think personally that yeah, it was a very aggressive move. Definitely the Alpine driver Vicky is going to take that up to the stewards, and Moto will just say that I was just too aggressive and I went through there. So yeah, I made a place there, and I don't think you should give me a penalty. That's what he'll say as we go on. As we see, Vicky will be pitting for a new front wing. No use keeping no front wing for the next
Oh,
27
he's
laps that are to
retired.
come. Vicky is retired from the session. Is that a problem or is that on purpose? Quite unsure. Archit has also come into the pits of the Mercedes, and Destroyed Brack is in 19th place. Moto has made it up all the way to 7th. Sartanish has made it up into the points commendably from 19th on the grid. SimplyYT is up in 11th. He's just about half a second behind Sartanish. So let's see if he can make that place up. While you were talking about Moto, I was just looking at the telemetry. He has started on soft, and softs around this circuit don't last very long, and the ones ahead of him are on hards. So he'll have to start conserving at some point, or he'll have to pit very early and potentially could offset all the hard work he's done. But the other thing that could offset all the hard work he's done is if the stewards decide to give him a penalty. But we'll only get to know that after the end of the race. Nothing. So that's provisional so far. Moto made up a place. On Dark Knight, there, very simple and safe move. Nothing like the earlier lap. So he's up into sixth place. Next up, 2 seconds ahead, King James. We look on both. Sartanish is in ninth place and his Williams teammate is in seventh place. Sartanish is currently substituting for a Williams teammate right now here. SSJ sets the fastest lap to the 1:32.8. So good lap from him. He's carved out a very nice breathing, uh, you know, very nice amount of time between him and Aradhya Gupta. So 3 seconds between him and the Scarlet Ferrari. Very good. We look on board right now with SimplyYT, who's just on the gearbox of Mohan MR9. Can he make up a place through here? He's trying, but he can't. But he's got a straight and he's got a DRS and the slipstream. I'm pretty sure that'll be easy enough for him to make a place. We'll just look at how he does it. But The Haas has also got the DRS wing open. So not that easy. Simply, you'll have to work a little bit harder. We look down to the rest of the grid. Any changes so far? Nothing. It remains the same as we just about last looked at a few seconds ago. Daddy is still running fourth. The Mercedes is running in red. Tough Red is running in third. Aradhya Gupta is in second. And SSJ is in first place. 3.3 seconds is the gap for him. He's on board right now with Mohan MR9, who's behind Sir Tanish. A little bit of a late break there. Can he make up a place on Sir Tanish through the straight? I think he's just too far off there. Little bit of a gear shifting error there. Got close, but not close enough. Can this trade be that miracle for him? So far, does not look like it. He's going to be looking to do some out of it, and he certainly is. But a little bit closer that he can make that move as we go now here. He will be within in point, he will be within that 1 second. He'll get that extra 10 kilometers per hour, as we know. But nothing of a move to be made on the straight right now. Mohan simply trying to make a move, but just doesn't work out. On board with Catty right now, who's 3 tenths behind the Mercedes of red. Can he make a place? Although the Mercedes has his front rear wing uh, closed, not open, there no place made, and I bumbled myself through that terminology. Absolutely sorry for that.
Yep, that's okay. No worries, Abby. This is a very entertaining race. Lots to talk about. It's perfectly understandable. Yeah, as we get on board Extreme now, who's overtaken Dark Knight just about. Dark Knight, who was holding on to the back of Moto Moto until a while back, but as you can see, Moto Moto's pulled out 3 seconds. I think Dark Knight got caught up with Extreme, trying to defend him. Of course, Extreme having the tire advantage for now. Moto Moto, like you said, he's on the softs. He's made up all these took the advantage of being on the softer tires. As we see Sir Tanish falling down the pack. I think he's had a bit of an incident. He's slow, and yeah, he's also one of those guys on the softs. So yeah, this is definitely not a good thing for Tanish to have. I mean, it's not a good thing on any tire, but especially on the softs, all his hard work has come undone. Moto, on the other hand, he's looking healthy in sixth. He's for a safety car that might come out anytime, knowing the track, the nature of the track. Yeah, safety car is definitely worth something that's possible. But yeah, contrary to a popular belief, the softs on this track surprisingly do go 10 laps. You can take them 10, 12 laps, as we see Sir Tanish trying to maximize the track, going just over the white lines. Maybe got a warning for that, maybe he didn't, but he was dangerously close to it, is what I can tell you. As we go back on board, Moto Moto, who's caught up to King James within half a second, so he's definitely going to be getting DRS. King James, on the other hand, who is over a second behind Catty, he's not going to have that extra helping hand of the DRS, 10 kilometers an hour advantage, which Moto Moto will definitely be enjoying on these soft tires, which are definitely probably a lot more worn compared to those hards that King James has been on for the last 6 laps. My apologies. He hasn't pit the top. So far, the top 16 have not made their first pit stop yet, but as you can see, Archit and Destroyer Track have pitted onto softs and mediums respectively a few laps ago, and we see Sir Tanish has retired, which has given out the safety car that I was talking about. This is a blessing for Moto. We didn't catch quite what happened on Tanish, but we see a bit of debris here. Maybe that was where Tanish DNF'd. I think yes, that was where Tanish DNF'd, because we see Wheelzipper has overtaken him at that corner. Yep, I think he's gone into the walls there. As we see Moto deciding to come pit, which is yeah, it's a good call from him. But as we know, Extreme has also got a drive-through, speeding under safety car, probably cross the delta. Not something you want to do. Extreme, that does not bode well for your race. As we saw Mohan, I think it was, get a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yeah, as we saw in Tier 2, one safety car has a very high possibility of leading to another safety car within a couple of laps. So, yep, all those who didn't pit, if they decide to pit on the next safety car, they will come out plumb last because just because of the fact that the first safety car has bunched up everyone. For Moto, this has come. It could not have come at a better time. The operating window for the softs is the first 79 laps. Of course, you can stretch them out to lap 10, lap 12, but that will kill the tires to a point where you are about a second or two slower. Yep, that has been a bit of chaos there for the commentator's curse, maybe, but it worked out for Moto and a few of the soft runners. Over to you, Abby.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Alex. So certainly, yeah, quite a lot of chaos going through that first safety car. Lot of changes. It's been a pretty grim race for Sir Tanish. Started at the back, made up a few places, looking like it was going to be good. But and in the end, again, if I'm not wrong, he put it into the wall, and that's just the end of the race for him. However, that one sacrifice, lest I say, that sacrifice helped quite a few people up the grid make their stop. Moto made up a few places, although he is now down in 11. He is behind people who have not made their pit stop yet. So he's got a bit there, and that is Extreme has Extreme gone. Yes, Extreme has gone into the pit. I think he's got a 5 second time penalty, which he can serve under the safety car. So certainly, yes. No, he has got a drive through. So yeah, that can't be served under a safety car. Probably he's got a 5 second, which he can serve, but drive throughs, again, you can't serve them under the safety car. You have to pit once again under a non-safety car period, under a clean track period. Otherwise, you will be disqualified. Obviously, it's the second time, but that's just how much gravity that single penalty has. We're on board right now with Red, who is trying to keep his tires warm. Reminder, he has not pitted, just like the leaders. SSJ, before the safety car, had a very healthy lead of about 3.5 seconds, but he lost that to the safety car. But I'm confident he'll make it up again. But Radhya will certainly not let that happen. He will be just on his gearbox trying to make up that place. He knows you let SSJ go off into the sunset, into the distance. You're going to lose track of him. You're going to lose sight of him. Next time you'll see him is on the podium. That is, if you're on it. So that's my summarization of what's happened so far. As we look on board, getting a little bit racy under conditions, are we between the Red Bull and the Haas, Faizan and so will JB has to give back the place, or was the Haas is going to story? The Haas has ghosted, so he was probably given an instruction to take the place, and it is still ghosted, so he might give back the place. I thought they were getting a little bit racy. They are taking a risk. That is, he is. I'm not. Any insight you can offer, Alex?
No, I think Clean Sipper wasn't the car that Faizan overtook. I think it was Mohan. I do not know what happened there. That is definitely going to be checked. There is definitely going to be a report if that was not supposed to happen there. I'm not sure. But yeah, Faizan trying to take advantage of the game being very buggy so far. But yeah, we won't have safety. I think we have safety for one more lap. I think Faizan is trying to take advantage of the game being buggy, and okay, Team Super decides to pit anyway. So yep, that was a weird thing that we had going on. I just saw Faizan getting the arrow that signified that he had overtook someone. That's why I went on board and to check what was going on. And yeah, God knows what they were doing there. But yep, something else to point out is SSJ has been on mediums compared to Aradhya, whose hards are probably just getting into their prime at this point, whereas SSJ Assassin his tires are probably going to start falling off anytime within the next few laps. So Aradhya is going to keep that in mind, and definitely he's going to hammer down on SSJ as soon as he can because he's got the tire advantage. But surprisingly, in the top 8, the top 9, in fact, none of them deciding to pit except for Moto, who was on the softs, so he had to pit regardless. I think the medium runners like SSJ could have pit. I think he's the only medium runner in that top gaggle of cars. But yeah, that was a bit weird. I think maybe they're hoping for another safety car in the next few laps. I'm guessing that's what they're hoping for. But meanwhile, Moto has He's got a bit of luck on his side this race, let's just say. Red, meanwhile, has had a quiet race in P3. Not much action. He's been keeping his nose clean. He's been avoiding getting track limits. That's one important thing around here, which you can have a safety car at any time. You do not want those track limit warnings. And yep, safety car in this lap. We've got the message from EA quite early on this time, before Sector 3 even started. So SSJ is going to have ample amount of time to back the grid up, warm his tires. All of them will have time, so let's hope for a clean safety car restart with no more safety cars in the next few laps.
Certainly, as we see, the grid is bunching up. They don't want to be too close to the safety car because that will give them a cutoff in their power. So, as we see, the grid is very close together, and Catty is just found the gearbox of Red. Red, as you mentioned, who's been having a very keen race so far. They're just trying to get their hearts into the tire temperature. SSJ will be trying to keep his place clear. Remember, he's on the mediums, as he said, and let's see him. He's taking the restart. He is now full throttle all the way, and the race is back on going. Let's have a look. Any places made up in the starting? We've got one McLaren making a move. Is that Simply? Yes, that is Simply. Whitey, who's made a move on Dark Knight, so he's up into 6th place. Interesting move. He was the first one to make a move after his restart. Very brave move from him. Made it on the straight and took it through the corners. So good move from him there. SimplyYT making up a place. Yeah, Boozer riding the slipstream, trying to make up a place. DRS is not enabled yet, so you will not get that extra 10 APH, but I'm pretty sure everyone has their ERSs loaded up and they're just dumping it on the straights. So yeah, we will see that effect kicking in a few more laps. Till that, so we've got some changes at the back of the grid. Lean Sipper, who's pitted for softs, I believe he's on softs, and Destroy Track is on hard. So they've just swapped places. Moto's lost places or made up places. He's in 8, I believe. So yeah, Moto's made up the places. Sorry, got confused with that. He's made up places. He's up into 8th on the mediums, overtaken the AlphaTauri of ERS the Boozer. He is now behind Darky 310s. Simple move, just go outside. Going to play it safe because he's literally got a sword hanging over him right now, and he is now right behind his teammate. What will Simply do? Will Simply let Moto go ahead? Remember, Simply has not stopped yet. Moto has. But on the other hand, Moto is on mediums. He has to take this one of the 20 laps, and SimplyYT is on hard. Then again, the paradox of them having not stopped yet. What will the decision be made? And we've got one driver into the pit. That is extreme. If I'm not wrong, he does have a drive-through penalty to serve, and under green flag conditions, he wants to serve it as quickly as possible so he can get that out of the way and just hammer down, keep his head down, pick up a few places. Archita's got a 5-second penalty speeding in the pit lane. Moto's gone ahead of SimplyYT. Simply did not defend much, just let his teammate go. Probably something going on there, keeping everything safe, going on board with Faizan right now, trying to make up a place on Dark Knight, but just not able to really be able to do it right now. I think he's got a good run, not close enough so far. Very good racing from the pair of these two in the Williams and the Red Bull. Not a sight we'll see in real life, so we'll see it in IRC, and you'll see it here almost every non-race weekend. We have tons of races, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 2 happens in the afternoon, Tier 1 at night. Around this time, you'll always have us in the comms box, and you'll always get a ton of racing as we look at the pair going down this straight. And this is a place where a lot of overtakes have been made. Every lap, you've got some or the other kind of move made here. So yeah, lot of racing, lot of excitement, and the move has been made. Faizan has got up into 8th place. A little bit of losing the rear there, but probably just teasing it to Dark Knight that, yeah, I've got ahead of you. So good racing from the pair of these two. Doing that too often. Let's look at the rest of the grid then. DRS has been enabled. Race control has told us that. So yeah, you will get that extra helping of 10, 15 kph down the DRS straights. Wherever you get them, you've got DRS is here. So plenty of overtaking excitement. 3 abreast then. Can anyone make a place and go in the SSR? No, by the looks of it, no. But the Haas is very close and they've gone off track. So nothing from race control regarding that. But I think he's got a good run and he can make that at the next straight where he'll get the DRS as well. He's very close. Moto's made his way up to 4th place on the mediums. He's just 3 tenths behind Red. I think he can make up a place and make it up to that podium there. Lot of exciting moves here. What will Red do to defend? Just very close. Can this be a move? Moto's playing it very safe and really good of him to do that because he's got a risk and he doesn't know the answer to that move that he made on the Alpine. So yeah, a lot of things at risk. So he's trying to get the best result that he can. Playing it very safe, very accurate there. Very clean
Safety
move,
car.
and yeah, he's got that place made a safety.
Got
That's a
safety car.
safety car.
Yep.
Moto about to get up into podium places, and a safety car blocks him. And he has made up the place, but won't he have to give that back if I'm not wrong? He made it
Uh,
after the safety car. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he did.
I'm not sure what was going on there because they were side by side just as the safety car indicator came up on my screen. Maybe he was just a bit ahead and Red got that return the position, or maybe it was the game being glitchy again. As we see, are all of them coming into pits again? Yes, Moto has pit. SSJ has pit, Aradhya has pit as well. I don't know why Moto decided to pit. He was on 5 lap old tires, but maybe he decided, okay, it's time for the hards. Let's stick it on and go after the end. Simply YT has decided not to pit another strange strategy call by Simply, but maybe it was because his teammate was pitting, they didn't want to double stack. But yeah, he could have gone slowly and just pit regardless. That would probably save him a lot of time. He's got to pit anyway. He's on 13 lap old hards. He's on the oldest tires out there on track so far. Faizan just behind him, he was not pit. Sandeep Maridu was not pit. Mohan has not pit. Destroyer Track, Lean Sipper. All these guys have not pit. Meanwhile, though Lean Sipper is on 4 lap old tires, I mean, you'll have to change them within the next 6 or 7 laps, my dear sir, anyway. So you might as well have got rid of them for the hards right now. As you see, Archit leaving the session, he retired sometime back in the pits, which I'm not sure if it's allowed or not. But okay, that will be up to the stewards to decide. As the safety car will bunch up all of them. Moto, he's down to 9th. He's had a very and he's given us most of the entertainment today. Uh, yeah, Singapore is proving to be Moto's a good track for Moto, making up all those places. I think he started. Let's see where he started. He's gained 4 positions, so he started down in P13. He was up all the way up to P3 and P4 and P3 with red questionable what position he was in. Can't say for sure yet, but yeah, now he's down to P9. Net P3 because the guys ahead of him have not pit. SSJ, who was the race leader before, is now in P7, followed by Aradhya, who was in second. Red, who was in third, got overtaken, it seems, just before the safety car came out. He's now down in 10th, just behind Moto, who is made up quite a lot of places from his starting position. SimplyYT is, like I said before, he's in the lead. He's not pit yet at all. He's the only driver out who has not pit even once. So far, as we see, most of the drivers have got their single stop done, and Destroyer Track and Moto have completed 2 pit stops. Of course, maybe they started on the softs. I think Destroyer Track did start on the softs, if I'm not wrong, and so did Moto. Extreme served his drive through and coming out in 11th. That's not a bad performance for him so far. Even after the drive through, he's still in 11th. But yeah, he's also got the old tires, 6 lap old hards. Yeah, quite a bit to talk about so far.
And we are just about through half of the race distance. A lot of chaos has happened. A lot of things have happened. A lot of things to talk about. Both the commentators, primarily me, getting out of breath there. So very exciting races as we're seeing here. Western and the safety car. Honestly, I'm also flabbergasted by the strategy that Simply has taken. Maybe he's expecting another safety car because building a gap around this circuit is very tough. Where you've got capable drivers just breathing down your neck there, and especially when you're on extremely old tires as well. And no notification from race control as to whether we will be getting underway this lap or next lap.
Yeah, I think it
So
should be
yeah,
this lap.
it should ideally be, but no notification so far. should come just about when we're entering the third sector. So we will wait in anticipation. And race control has given the notifications to safety car in this lap. The cars will be bunching up. Simply will be looking to get his tires good window. Faizan in the Red Bull trying to imitate a Max Verstappen in Abu Dhabi 2021. Not quite close as Max was in that last lap to Lewis, but just looking menacing in that rear mirror. Simply will look into his mirror and see the Red Bull is on significantly better tires. So 7 laps, half of the life of his cars. That does matter a lot in grip. So a menacing move there from the Red Bull of Pakistan. Remember, he still has to fit. I don't think he can take the rest of the race on these hards. Simply a master at race restarts. Where will he take this? Has he taken it? Has he? And I
Yep.
believe he has. He has taken the race restart. Faizan got a bit off guard there, but simply has got the run up. So he's already carved out a good 7 tenths ahead. Faizan will now look to get it all the way. Can we see any brave moves? 3 cars abreast. A Haas, an Aston Martin, and a Ferrari of Aradhya Gupta. SSJ makes up the place. SSJ is up to P6. Aradhya Gupta coming on behind in 8th. We've got Lean Sepa in ninth. So overall, yeah, that was the one I saw around Precision. Simply is taking up a few tens, not carving up. Okay, and we've got an AlphaTauri that's spun out, and I believe that is Sandeep Maridu. I believe that from some contact, or has he spun out of his own accord? That will certainly go to his towards if it was contact. I did not catch it. Could you catch it, Alex?
Nope, there
Limited
was.
contact there as well.
Yep. I did not see. I think maybe he was spun around, but there was a lot of action going on up front. As we see SSJ making a move on Destroyer Drag, a bit of Aji Baji there, and Aradhya takes the place as well. Destroyer Drag going off, and Moto has capitalized on that as well. I think we can clearly see Destroyer Drag has not been able to get those tires up to temp. As we see Aradhya hounding SSJ, hounding the rear of SSJ. SSJ is caught up in all this traffic with older tires. Aradhya is trying to make the most of it as much as he can. He's trying to catch SSJ off guard while he's taking a move up front. Yeah, this has been a bit of a weird restart. Simply, of course, got a good start, but those older tires really showing their age as Faizan makes the move on Simply. Yeah, we didn't quite catch that, but we saw a bit of contact on the rear of Faizan with Simply's front wing. But yeah, all acceptable so far because both of them are pointing in the right direction as we see SSJ pulling out behind Mohan. But Aradhya has gotten the better exit out of that corner and he's taken the place on SSJ for a net P1 unless the guys ahead decide not to stop. But yeah, Aradhya is looking, he's on a charge, he's on the mission, he's just behind Simply. No, he's just behind Mohan, apologies. Bit out of breath here as he goes for the move. He dives it down the inside of Mohan. Mohan, of course, gets the inside for this turn as SSJ is still there right behind Aradhya. Aradhya he's got to look front, but he's also got to keep SSJ in check as we see down the grid. We see Extreme losing a place to Sandeep Marid who is trying to recover from that spin. And Govind SSR has made up a move on ERS Abuzer. There's a lot going on here. Moto and SSJ trading places left, right, and center. They're going side by side into this turn. Who is SSJ is on the inside. He makes it past. He's come out ahead, but Moto still got he's got his front wing in. He's gonna have the outside line, and he's got that move done. Will SSJ dive it down the inside? No, he won't. We missed Aradhya's overtake on Mohan. He's up into P3. Aradhya he's looking menacing right now in the rear view mirror of Simply as race control has DRS enabled. Yeah, this is very enthralling race start. It's been very. I need to catch a breath here, Abby. Who is handing over the reins to you, man?
Certainly, certainly. Go have a sip of water as ERS Abuser goes into the pits. And did you have a pen reserved for safety car changes? Mohan has slipped down to fourth. No, he doesn't slip down there. Motors in fifth. SSJ is in sixth. Little bit of a move there between Moto, and he's got contact with the Haas. that's the second incident that will probably be noted by the stewards, but he has got ahead for the time being. Moto up into P4. So right now he's 1.7 seconds behind the Scarlet Ferrari of Aradhya Gupta. So yeah, he'll be trying to make up a few places there, get it all going, get the rhythm going. SSJ, mentioned from him, he's in sixth, the early race leader. He's breathing down the neck of Mohan. He's going to try and make up a place here down the straight, and I'm pretty sure he will. He's got a good exit out of there. We're on board with him. He's dumping his ERS. He's got ERS, and he's got the move done. Up in the fifth place, top five for our pole setter for the race and our sprint race winner there. He's got Moto ahead of him. Both have similar age tire lap. So it's all down to the racing. And if I can offer you a little bit of insight right now, we've got a safety car. We have got a destroyer drag who's gone into the barriers and he's lost his front wing. He's got a severe collision with ERS Abuser, I believe.
Nope, it was red.
Yes,
Red is out of the race.
Red. I missed that absolutely. Red is out of the race. And I think that's because of the collision between him and the Alfa Romeo. We've got a slew of people pitting. SimplyYT has made his pit stop. He's gotten incredibly lucky with this, I must say. So a lot of positions changing up and down the order. We've got the Skull Ferrari of that's Aradhya Gupta into the pit. Very strange, since he's got to last on the 12 laps on that. So very
About
strange
10
decision
with the
from him
safety
there.
car.
But above that, this safety car will certainly be Simply, yes, because Simply is in is having a problem of his own. I cannot say with regards to who, with regards to what system, but he is having a problem. This safety car will certainly help him to fix that problem up. So yeah, he's currently running in eighth. He's got a gap between Aradhya and he's
Just
got
keep
another
continuing.
gap between SSJ in ninth. So he's running.
Yep, I think we have a problem with the session. Maybe I disconnected. I will rejoin immediately. Just give me a minute there, Abby.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll bring you the insights from our alternative sources that we have. So far, I'm not getting a very big view. We're looking at alternative sources for the race. And yeah, Destroy Draxil has a 5-second penalty to serve. He can serve it under the safety car. He's on hards. Aradhya Gupta running in 7th, SimplyYT in 8th. SSJ is still holding the fastest lap in 9th. Mohan in 10th. So yeah, so far, that's it. And yeah, Simply will try to catch up, but I don't think he is. The problem that I was mentioning at the early part of the stream, he has fixed that problem. So yeah, he won't be facing that problem anymore. He's managed that out. The safety car did help him in those terms. Safety car is still going on this lap. So no need to worry. I am up to get all. So far, we've got a move. Aradhya Gupta has pitted. He is into the pits. As I was mentioning just a lap earlier, why was he on the soft? So I guess he has pitted to fix that thing. He's got another 11 laps to go, which hopefully can help him fix this thing. SimplyYT has got a little bit of problem with the delta. He'll have to slow down a bit. He has that problem there. He's caught up to the pack. He's just behind the Alfa Romeo. Destroyer Black 5-second penalty. So yeah, easy places for him to get up. He's got mediums. Take him last position of the race. Got no damage. The problem he has been fixed. And he's not got a lot of ground to cover. Moto's up ahead. So this could be yet another strong result for McLaren for the cementing their gap in the constructor standings, where they're at 278, almost 100 points ahead of next second place Williams and Moto as well. Race win or a top three finish will certainly help get his gap up from Red, who has retired from this race. So yeah, Moto will be looking at a very strong result, mostly a race win, because that will just make his gap more than 60 points in the World Drivers' Championship. So yeah, and there's money at stake, if I'm not mistaken.
Faizan,
Hmm.
invite me quickly. I am streamer. I disconnected.
I can't update in the race, man.
You're in the safety car.
Hey,
No.
what the fuck is Faji Baji?
Tell someone else.
He's in the safety car going on.
Yeah, but tell someone else, no. I can't.
What a bastard, man. think we've got the invite back. So, yep, you can continue with this thing. Sorry for that. Guys, but yeah, I disconnected for a bit and we're back with the stream. Right now, just loading into the game, loading into the lobby. Fortunate for us that happened under the safety car. We might not have missed a lot. So far, I think the safety car is still out so far. So yep, just bear with us a few moments more. As I think we're back in the race. Abby, do we have you with us? I think we do not. So I will continue the this commentary for now. We have Faizan leading the race with Moto just behind him, who has made up a lot of places from starting P13. Starting, actually, I think he was down in P19 for the sprint race. I'm not very sure, but yep, that's a good comeback on Moto's behalf. He's up into P2, challenging for that win, and I think he's with the fresher tires. He's definitely going to get that win if he keeps things clean. If Faizan and him are able to keep things clean, not very sure how that's going to pan out. Simply has also finally made his one and only pit stop for this race. He's on to the mediums while we go on to Arathya, who has made a questionable strategy. While those tires will last for the 10 laps that we have coming up, I think maybe one more lap under safety car. Arathya will be thanking his stars that we've got one more lap and the Alfa Romeo pair haven't caught up yet. But yeah, he'll lose an upward of a second a lap towards the end of maybe lap 8 or 9, as we did see Moto take the lap. Oh, he's not going to have the blessing of another safety car lap, and that is the 4th safety car we've had, I think. It's the 4th one, so yep, we're not going. The game limits you to 4. I think, from what I've heard, the game limits you to 4 safety cars a race. But yep, I think that's it for Aradhya. He's gonna have to make this work. He's gonna have to push like quali laps for the rest of the entirety of the race. Now the last 10 laps, the last 9 laps. Faizan weaving, trying to catch Moto off guard at the safety car restart. He's gonna wait till the safety car goes in. SimplyYT has been given a 5-second penalty for collision. Take us away with the start, will you, Abby?
Yep, I was there, but unfortunately, some technical issues. I believe I was not heard. I was muted. So of my own fault. And we now look as Faizan has restarted of his own accord. He's got a good gap, but Moto's behind him is not quite as far as it was when the last restart between the McLaren and the Red Bull, except that Simply is not here. It's Moto. We're looking at the Ferrari of Govind SSR, who's behind him in 5th. Cathy's in 4th, King James in 3rd. Moto's made up a place. He's up into the lead of the race. He's ahead of Faizan. And he has made up a place. Faizan is going down. What has happened to Faizan? Has Faizan hit? He has hit a wall. He has got some damage, I believe. Faizan is raced, restarted, but went downhill in less than 3-4 corners. So yeah, that will be a grimace for him to look. And Moto's leading the race. He's got himself a 1.5 second gap there between Cathy. He's built that up very strongly. We look at King James, who's on the podium right now. Simply has got a 5-second penalty for a collision. He is in 4th. SSJ is on the stop. SSJ is also on the stop. Let me remind you, almost 7 drivers are currently on the softs in the field. They will need to manage all of it. And Destroy Drag has got a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, possible accidents. So yeah, SSJ and SimplyYT trading places. SSJ keeping it safe, keeping it clean, trying to make a move. No, Simply has to make that happen. Simply is gonna try and defend, but no use. He's got that penalty, and Simply just hasn't got enough time to pit. He's just not got enough time to pit and get that penalty out of his way. But at the end of the day, the stewards will decide the penalty. So yeah, a lot of these results are provisional and such. But Moto, what a restart from him. He's made it up in the first place. And yeah, this will be very helpful for his championship fight. His next in-line champion, Red, is currently retired from the race. So any point he gets here right now is going to be 25. going to be a huge jump for him. That's just going to cement his gap further, going to really make him almost unbeatable. But yeah, it all can go down to the last race, as we've seen in IRC as well as in real life. So, a lot of exciting races. Stay tuned, follow us on our socials. We upload clips, interesting overtakes, and highlights from the race and short form content. So, yeah, you will enjoy that. Fights from our race in case you missed them. We got a little bit of action between Aradhya Gupta and Sandeep Maridu. So, can any movie made here? This straight that's gonna come up is a hot, very hot spot for overtakes. Was that a little bit of contact? I think that was, but Aradhya Gupta cannot make the place. He's not got the DRS, so not that extra helping of speed. SSJ up into fourth. I have missed that, but he's got a good run on King James. Can he make the place here? No, but he does very aggressive move. They're playing it very fairly. He is just there back. DRS has been enabled. He's got the ERS jump. SimplyYT's got the fastest lap, the 132.6. Lower fuels, newer tires. Yeah, overall, but that will be gone, I believe, by the next lap when people do get DRS. SSJ is trying to make a place, and I think he will this lap because the next straight coming up will give him DRS. He's got a good amount of battery left, so he can make up that place in the straight. Let's have a look at what he does do. Red Bull has not got the DRS. Strong defending from King James there, but not quite enough. Once you got that rear wing open, you've got a lot of speed battery as well. Will the Red Bull be overtaking twice? No! SimplyYT almost into the wall there, keeping it close. He's trying to make up a place. He's got a penalty to recover from. So any places he makes up will be incredibly helpful from him. His teammate Moto currently leading the race, but not quite the strong gap he had earlier of 1.5 seconds, just about 1.1 seconds now. And he's trying to close the gap. Will the Aston Martin swap position? That's an interesting thing to see. So it all depends. SSJ is an incredible driver. So will the Aston Martin decide to swap positions to give SSJ, uh, give it all, give it the all, and keep Catty in DRS so that they can fight, make Moto wear out his tires. He is on 10 lap old hards, but SHJ is on 5 lap old softs. SHJ has taken the place. He's currently in second. Catty is in third on 10 lap old mediums. So SHJ's got the better tire. SHJ's got the younger tire. SHJ is as good as a driver as Moto. So yeah, we've got a lot of racing to look forward to. And at the back, SimplyYT makes up a place on King James there. SimplyYT with a younger tire, but the penalty. So got a lot of racing to do. Next 6 laps await him. Let's see what comes up ahead. Anything that I missed, Alex? Anything you want to point out?
Yep, no, you covered all of it. SSJ meanwhile did get the fastest lap on his try to catch up to Moto, and he's doing that very well. Caught up 3 seconds in this first sector alone. I think that was a bit of team orders there by Catty and SSJ. Catty understanding that SSJ has the better chance of helping the team out, helping Catty out too, maybe by backing SSJ back into him. As we see, Destroyer Drac has lost it somewhere. I think he's lost it. Yep, he's lost it at the end of the straight. He's out of the race, but the game is not going to give us any more safety cars. It's too late for that. There have been too many safety cars for that to happen. As we're back on board, SSJ, who is trying and catching up to ever so slightly to Moto, as we see Aradhya, who's closing up, and he's going for the move on Mohan, who's got a bit of the front left end plate missing on his car. Is Aradhya with the softs makes it look easy, but we know it's not as easy as it looks. As we're back on with Mohan and Aradhya is still fighting, but yep, I think Aradhya has won out on that battle. As SSJ, we're back on board him. He's back within DRS range of Moto. He's within half a second. I think this move is just waiting to be done and dusted, but towards the end of the lap, if Moto can keep close to SSJ, he's going to have a bit of tire deck on him, as Aradhya gets a 3-second time penalty. Moto on the straight with his rear wing open. He's got that 10 kilometers extra. None of them deploying their ERS, as we see King James, who is, oh no, I was proven wrong. We have another safety car. King James is retired.
That means it has been a single race. But yeah, what very exciting races here. I believe that safety car was King James. I think he has DNF. So he's put it into the wall somewhere. I can't quite see where it is. So I think we will come up right
What?
now.
Oh my god.
If we've got a
Again.
problem with the race, I
Safety car
can't quite.
is messing up my internet, I think. Bad safety car.
Moto's left the session, so we've got a little bit of a problem there with the game. Will we be getting the results? Is it a suspended race? We really don't know at this point. So we'll just wait for the Electronic Arts gods to tell us that what have they decided to do with our race, and that is the end of the race. I think that is the end of the race. I don't know if I should read out the race results or not. I'm incredibly
Nope.
confused there.
Nope,
I
nope,
don't
nope.
think I should
I
because
think I disconnected
we
again because of this thing. Yes.
yeah. So yeah, we'll have a we'll wait up there. Meanwhile, I'll switch back to my alternate source there and looking there. So Simply is up into second, Moto's in third. Moto has pitted. Catty has pitted as well. SSJ is in the lead. So Dark Knight has pitted. So a lot of the people in the top 10 have pitted for a fresh set of tires. They've got 4 laps. Plenty of things that can happen, plenty of moves that can be made, safety cars going on. This late into the race, everyone's just going to bolt on the softs. Everyone's just going to go full throttle, hammer it down to the end, to the line, make as many places as you can. As we look right now, is anything, any insights I can get you under the safety car? Not really much, but I'll give you the top 5 currently. So we've got SSJ leads Simply, leads Extreme, leads Moto, leads Catty so far. So Catty, even after the pit stop, he's on the soft motos, was on the soft pit stop. Extreme in the Alfa Romeo is on the podium. That's a surprise. SimplyYT has overtaken SSJ. SSJ has
Correct me if
DNF.
I'm
I
wrong.
believe he has
Yeah.
disconnected from the race.
I do not know what SSJ has done there. I missed that on the stream, but I think maybe he's made a mistake and gone into the wall. We're back with the stream, by the way, in Extreme. I was talking about him having the bad luck and a bit of a slump in performance. This is going to bring him right back up in his confidence. And Moto again, P4, P3, he's going to be gunning for that race win with Simply, who's on 8 lap order hards, 8 lap order mediums. I apologize. Extreme on 6 lap old softs. Of course, he's going to try and keep that position, keep Moto behind. Going to use Simply's DRS, maybe Simply play a bit of the smooth operator tactics and keep Extreme and DRS. Or maybe he'll try and pull away so that Moto can get past him and they can secure that 1-2 somehow. But yeah, Extreme has the slower tires at this point. Those softs have been worn out, but to be honest, they're probably still in good condition. But Moto does have the fresher soft tires. Maybe Extreme will try for a move on Simply, and then it's going to be a last 2 laps showdown. Oh my god, this race has been a lot more entertaining than the Tier 2 race. That's something I can tell you for sure.
Yeah, but personally, I watched the Tier 2 race. Tier 2 race was also incredibly entertaining. So you have to understand just how entertaining our races are, and we can take it to this level. And yep, so we've firstly got the safety car ongoing. SimplyYT is in first, Extreme in second, Moto's in third, Catty is in fourth. Unfortunate end of our race for our pole sitter SSA. He's had a beautiful sprint race, beautiful Grand Prix, amazing racing from him. But yeah, very sad ending to his race as well. So far, no notification from race control as to whether the race is going to end or not. So we'll look at our telemetry and data right now. Look at it, we have got almost half the grid is not being yesterday. Kaizen running in 46 seconds behind the leader. Govind SSR 25 seconds. Jairus Kabuza is in the points in 10th place in 13 seconds. And the leader Range Rover in 9th. And we've got Salif in 8th. Mohan MR9 in 7th. Dark Knight in 6th. Then we've got the Ferrari 5th. We've got Aston Martin of Catty. And of course our top 3. already mentioned earlier. Interesting insight from me here. Not quite as interesting as the race, but let me just bring it out there for you. The only teams that are currently scoring double points for both their teams are AlphaTauri, AlphaTauri, Haas, and McLaren there. So three teams scoring very important and crucial points there. And out of these three teams, only one team is in the top three of the World Constructors Championship, as I mentioned long enough. So the safety car will still be going on for another lap. So this is we're going to be entering the 29th lap under the safety car. After this, we're going to enter the penultimate lap. I think that's when we're going to start racing. We will possibly be getting 2 laps of action. So until we get underway, Alex, over to you.
Yep, that's a very good summary of the race so far. And like you said, I think we're going to have one more lap of the safety car. But something you pointed out, we do have points all the way from P1 down to P15. So since SSG has completed 75% of the race, he is also going to get points down in P13. It's going to be very few points, but it's going to be points nonetheless. Points that could be important towards the end of the race. But yeah, both the Alpines have DNF, both the Mercedes have DNF. Danish in the Williams, who is the reserve driver though, he's also DNF'd. Destroyer Track in the Alfa Romeo has DNF'd, and King James in the Red Bull and SSJ Assassin in the Aston Martin have DNF'd. I'm not sure about King James and Destroyer Track. I don't know how much of the race they completed. I fail to remember if they finished the 75% required quota. But Red and the cars behind will not be getting points. Red DNF'd quite early on in the race. But another thing to point out is we have had 7 DNFs so far. That's a lot. That's almost half the grid. 2 more drivers and we'll have 50% of the grid that started the race will not be finishing the race. That's a really high number. It's a lot of carnage, and we have race control say that safety car is going to be in this lap. And yep, take us away with the restart.
Absolutely. And we're now looking on board our race leader currently Simply, who will bunch up the grid. We have seen one restart from him this race. We are going to see another. Where will SimplyYT restart? If we can get his T-pod camera with his telemetry data, very interesting to see. I've always watched his restarts. And very interesting and very strategic as well. He's going to be looking in his mirrors as he's got Extreme right up his gearbox. Up the right, he's got plenty of battery. He's got the tires. He's got mediums that 10 laps hold. Seems to make that also. Where will he make the restart? Where will he take us away as we await right now? Got a little bit of move. Lean Sipper's moving down. Govind SSR's moving down. Probably a little bit of problems there in the team. And SimplyYT has taken us away. He's restarted. Aradhya Gupta has got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. SimplyYT has taken us away with the restart. Incredible race there. We've got another No, we've not got a safety car. Sorry about that. That's yellow flags. But Extreme is going to be passed by Motomoto, and he has been passed by Motomoto. So we are seeing what is currently a 1-2 at McLaren. But will there be team orders? They've got just 2 laps. So you've got 2 things. Either you can compromise the lap of the championship leader or give the race win to the current race leader. Action between the Scarlet Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo there of Extreme. As Aradhya Gupta gets ahead, Extreme falling like a stone. Aradhya Gupta has made up places there. Catty is up into third, making up. He's gotten places made. He's going to get a good haul of points right there. So very important for him as he's trying to make a place on Moto as well. Simply is just keeping ahead. But they're very close. The McLaren pair are close and they have switched places. Moto has gone ahead of SimplyYT. He is on the fresher tire after all. Simply has gone down to third. Will Simply also fall third right now. He has fallen victim to the Aston Martin of Catty. Can he make up a place on this lap or the next lap? He's got one more lap, but Aradhya Gupta is right up his diffuser. Can he make a move on this straight? Yeah, he has made up the place there. Simply is holding his own. He is not going to let him make the place. Simply is still on the podium. And the man who was leading the race is now on the brink of losing his podium. Will he do it or not? As we see some action from Mohan and Extreme. He's trying to take that place of Extreme, trying to get some important point. CRS Abuza with the fastest lap, 131.7. I don't think we'll see any faster laps. Now we're into the last lap of the race. Got plenty of cars with penalties to serve. Simply, Aradhya, Extreme, all their penalties. Govind, and we've got carnage on the last lap. That's a Haas and an Alfa Romeo. Mohan and Extreme have come together, and that is 50% of the grid which is not
Oh my
racing. This is absolute carnage on the last lap of the race. Will we get a safety car? I don't think so. By the looks of it, no. We've had 5 safety cars so far. Moto leads from Catty, from Simply, from Aradhya, from Sandeep, from Faizan, from Govind, from Darky, from ERS, and back of the pack currently leans it. But Aradhya gets another 3 second time penalty for corner cutting. He's got plenty of penalties, and yeah, that's certainly going to put him back ahead. But Simply's got a very, very problematic penalty there that could potentially put him out of the podium. Moto will be smiling, and we're gonna look on board and see if Moto. That's an AlphaTauri on the podium. Can't quite see who it is though. Can you tell us, Alex?
Yep, just let me get into the screens. Just a minute. I think that was, if I'm not wrong, I'm not sure either. It was a bit of a confusion at the end with, I think we've had a proper desync throughout this race, with me being kicked out of the server. I think of the server. I said, I mean, of the lobby quite a few times. Just give me a couple of minutes. I have the race record. I'm not really sure who finished where, but we know Moto won the race. That was a brilliant finish. From the sprint race, he's clawed his way up back to P2. We're just waiting now for all of them to come into the VC for their podium interviews. So what are your thoughts on the race and how it went from the sprint race, from OSQ, in fact, from OSQ to the sprint race to the final race? What are your thoughts, Abby?
What we saw in OSQ and what we saw in sprint and what we saw in the final race, in fact, was poles apart. I mean, literally poles apart. That's how different it was. The racing was incredible. We saw very aggressive, very brave moves, but also very calculated moves. We saw a variety of strategies, variety of issues that people were facing. Some people faced fuel issues, some people faced tire management issues, and yeah, some a variety of issues. And overall, a very interesting race. People driving with different aims, a lot of heartbreaks, lot of smiles. Many people are probably punching the air right now. Many people probably are beaming from ear to ear. So it's a very diverse reaction race for all our drivers there. But 10 DNFs in the final race. Yeah, certainly the stewards will have a lot of work to do, a lot of incidents to look into. So these race results are certainly provisional, but our race leader also has one incident that will probably be looked into. Apart from that, we have a lot of penalties to look into as well from the stewards. So I can say for one fact that it's flabbergasting yet interesting, and heart wrenching for some moments as well.
Yep, absolutely. Moto does have that steward report coming his way. Uh, we don't know what the result of that report will be, as we're just about waiting for the rest of the drivers to come into the VC for their podium interview. But yeah, 10 DNFs, I think I cursed it. 50%. We had 50% attendance for the final, for the finishing line today, with that final incident with Mohan and Extreme. Again, Extreme with that bad luck, or maybe just a slump in performance. Maybe it was just skill issue on their part. We cannot really comment on that for now. But from what I remember, I think Moto won the race with Catty in P2 and Simply in P3. Yeah, very, very exhausting race even for us in the com box here. With Aradhya, of course, I think he did lose quite a lot of positions because of penalties. He had quite a few penalties. I think 11 seconds worth of penalties, but yeah, Simply also might have fallen down. I think that was Sandeep Maridu. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Sandeep Maridu ended up inheriting P3 because, yep, because Simply had that 5-second penalty. But yep, we have Catty and Moto with us. Just waiting. We'll wait just about 1 minute more for Sandeep to join us. Yeah, happy. Go ahead.
Alex, should we take it away or should we just wait for all our podium sitters to come in?
I think we
Anything?
can start with our P2 driver Catty for now. Catty, how was? We know you had a bit of a quiet race on your part through to the middle half of the race, and towards the end, of course, you got had Moto for company out of nowhere. Catty, are you with us? So, yep, we cannot hear you, Catty. Can you hear me, Abby?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep, I think Catty's had a bit of a problem. Let's go over to Moto then. Why don't you take us up with the interview on Moto?
Sure.
No, let's wait for the other guys. I think we should wait.
Yeah, we will then. No worries.
Yep, let me just ask all of them again.
Meanwhile, I'll just get to know our finishing order from our guys back in the studio with the coordinators. Yeah. So, folks, how did you like the race? Most importantly, was it exhilarating for you? Which driver would you say was your driver of the day? Let us know in the chat. Drop it right there, and make sure to subscribe to all our socials. We upload a lot of content from the races. If you don't catch these races, you will get short form content in the form of overtaking highlights, in the form of interesting racing as well. So make sure to follow us and subscribe to all of IRC socials, and you will be treated to a lot of racing content given the current lack of it in the IRL Formula 1 racing world. IRC will more than make it up for you. So make sure to subscribe.
Yep, please do IRC does. We do a lot of work as well. There's a lot of shorts that we post on our YouTube for interesting overtakes, and yeah, I think Moto is in charge of a few of those things as well. So yeah, but good job to you, Moto, as well, and all of the others at IRC team who were making this possible for us. I think we've waited long enough though. Catty and Sandeep are not showing up yet, so take us with Moto, please.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Alex. So Moto, so your race started in P19 in the sprint. I don't know what is it that happened with you in the OSQ, if you can talk us through that, and about how your sprint went, and what was the entire circumstance you went through the Grand Prix. What was your mind strategy like? What were you thinking you were going to do? We'd love to get an insight on that.
Cathy is just here. Let's try him.
Yeah, sure. Alex, I think you can take it up with Catty. Yeah, we can hear you, Alex.
Okay, Catty, are you here with us, please?
Yes, I am.
Okay, how was your race, Catty? You had a bit of a quiet race, and your teammate also, under strange circumstances, decided to DNF. We did not catch quite what happened on the stream. Do you have any insight?
Yeah, so he was disconnected, and so he had to leave the lobby. And as soon as he did that, the game just DNF'd him.
Okay.
It was a glitch.
Okay. I think, yep, okay. That quite sums it up there. And yep, so that's unfortunate for your teammate. Meanwhile, you had a brilliant race, so you finished in P2 just behind Moto. That was a close fought race towards the end. That was a good battle on your behalf. Good job on your half. Anything you have to say about your half of the race, please?
I mean, it was basically just trying to survive and trying not to be stupid with battery and incidents and picking fights. So, you know, it is Singapore, and anything can happen until the last lap. Was even I saw people getting spun out under safety car, so it's just being safe.
Okay, that was a very good strategic call by you to keep calm under there, because yep, as you said, it is Singapore. We had people decide to murder themselves on the last under safety car as well. We saw people spin out. So yeah, that was a good choice on your behalf for your part of the race. Good race by you, P2. Good haul of points for Aston Martin. It's a shame though for SSJ, who was having a good race himself. Shame for the Aston Martin team, but good job, Catty. You did a good job. Anything further you have to ask, Abby?
No, nothing really. I think you summed it up with your questions. Just a note to you, Alex. So we've got my final finishing order. I'll read it out for everyone on stream.
Yep.
So our finishing order, as it stands currently, is Moto with the race one, Catty in P2, as you know. Faizan in P3, Sandeep Maridu in P4, and SimplyYT in P5. So Faizan's here with P3. You can take that away, yeah, Alex, as well.
Okay, Faizan. Oh, you finished P3. I did not quite catch that. You had a bit of. You were, from what I remember, you were in P11 once the safety car restarted the last time. We didn't quite catch your comeback on stream in the last couple of laps. But yeah, that was an amazing comeback if you made that possible. Could you give us some insight on that, please?
Yes, thanks. Yeah, started off good. Just try to keep it clean in the first few laps. I think in the second safety car I was leading the race. And then unfortunately, I had an incident and got spun out. I was at the back of the field in the third safety car. I think I was like P15 or P14 at the start of the final safety car, and then I decided to pit just a lap before the safety car came in, so I had the freshest tires available to me. I think that helped me, yeah, to just keep it clean, and everyone crashed around me. So just got promoted to P3 or overtook Sandeep on the last corner. So yeah, it was pretty satisfying.
Yep, unfortunate for you, the game kicked me out of the lobby just as we had motocross cross the finish line. So we did not quite catch that, but we did see you making a few moves around on people. That was good overtaking by you, Faizan. Good job on the P3. Congratulations to you, and yep, congratulations on the podium.
Thanks.
Yep, and we have Moto, our race winner. Abby, I think you can take us on with the interview with our race leader.
Thank you so much. Moto, I'll repeat the questions I had once again. So firstly, your OSQ, we didn't really quite catch what happened there. If you can just talk us through it. What were your emotions through the Grand Prix, through the sprint? You made up most of your places in the Grand Prix, as it saw a tumultuous race. Just talk us through how it was going for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a chaotic sort of session, a group of sessions that, I mean, I OSQ, so I tried streaming this one, and I sort of didn't quite get the streaming settings right. So the OSQ was like I was getting 30 frames, so it was undrivable after like turn 1, 2. So I just thought might as well retire because the lap was anyways in the bin. Then my game crashed just after OSQ got ended. So I had to take control. I think lap 2 or so. And from there on, I just, sort of made my moves from there. I think sprint couldn't do much, finished P13 or so, and started on the softs to the main one, thinking I'll make up positions when the start was bad. So, yeah, I mean, just made my way through the field. The safety cars came in, pitted for medium tires, even though I should have pit for hards in hindsight, but I think it worked out in the end. So yeah, use the fresh medium tires to make my moves through the field. Couple of incidents here and there. We'll have to have a look at that. But then another safety car came out and pitted for hard tires for that. Took those in the end, and then one more came out, and then just pitted for softs because I knew that everyone behind me was. So yeah, it was. I mean, there were some good battles, good overtakes throughout the session, but it didn't quite feel right because I think the lobby should have been restarted at the start. I don't think it was a good decision to go ahead with after the one shot quali because the host had left and it went to migrating session. And I think that was the reason because of what Dan, I think he faced an issue or a glitch where he got kicked from the session and he DNF'd as soon as he joined back. So I think it all comes down to that lobby restart, which should have happened at the start. So yeah, it doesn't feel quite right winning this race. It wasn't very satisfying. But I mean, I'll take a win at Singapore. It's one of my favorite tracks. So yeah, I think that just about sums it up.
Yep, that was a good race for you, and it's really good to see you being a very, being a very sportsman-like behavior here through your understanding of actually how you don't think claiming a win here. But yeah, really good to see that of you, and as expected, Moto, you did just as well. I'm very happy to inform you, however, that you are 52 points ahead of the next one in the World Drivers' Championship, that is Red. So you are currently at 185 points versus him in 133. So that's one more positive to take from here. You've got a good amount of breathing space now. Brilliant race from you. Anything that you have, Alex, that will further add on to this?
No, congratulations on the race win, Moto, and yep, like you said, I think it should have been restarted because we here in the stream also had a lot of disconnecting
Yeah.
because of that. But yep, good job on the race, and yep, applauds for your sportsmanship, and hearts out to
I think
Danny.
Dan should have won this race. It was his to win. He had amazing pace, and it doesn't feel right what happened to him. So, just
Yep.
but end on that note. But yeah, overall, I think a lot of stuff needs to be seen in terms of racecraft, especially.
Yep, we
Um,
had 50% of the grid not finishing. That is definitely not something we want to see. Yep, thank you, Moto. And congratulations again on that win.
Yeah,
Thank you, Moto. Thanks for coming on to the interview. That was great then. So, ladies and gents, that is all we have at IRC for you today. We're done with our Tier 1 race. If you're done watching this and you've not checked out our Tier 2 race, feel free to go out on our channel. We just had another Tier 2 race today in the afternoon at Singapore. If you want to check out more racing, we've got plenty of content for you to check out on our channel. And Alex, anything else to say to wind down the day? Great
Yep.
job from you as well. You handled the streaming and the commentary incredibly well. Over to you.
Yep, good job overall to all the drivers who did actually manage to finish. And again, once again, congratulations to Faizan, Kati, and Moto on that race win. Again, like Moto emphasized, hearts out to Danny. Brilliant race, brilliant OSQ. Led almost every lap in the race as well until he had to pit for new tires. That's obvious. That's understandable. But yep, very sad for Danny. SSJ Assassin is Danny's for all those who were wondering why I'm calling him Danny. Danny. Yep, he's our SSJ Assassin. Yep. Overall, but that's it for today. Good race overall. We had a lot of entertainment. Again, apologies for the constant disconnections. Yep, that's something EA we can't do anything on our side. EA being EA will not, and they will refuse to fix these issues. Yep. That's it anyway. Follow us on our Instagram. Next week we have Kota, the American track that a lot of us here at IRC love racing at. So yep, I will be back next Sunday next week with Tier 2 in the afternoon at 2 o'clock or 2:30, and the Tier 1, the fastest guys in India, at 8 o'clock IST. Till then, have a great week ahead and have a good night.